Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into fascinating topics to get you truly well-informed.
Great to be here.
Today, we're embarking on a bit of a linguistic adventure. We're digging right into the foundations of English.
Yeah, deep roots.
Exactly. And to kick things off, think about this word. Slugabed. It sounds kind of charmingly old, right?
It does. Like something your grandma might say.
Right. Maybe from an old book. But here's the thing. The question that often comes up, is slugabed actually Old English? Or is it just, Old English, an old word?
And that difference really matters, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just semantics.
No, it's key. It helps us appreciate the whole journey our language has taken. So our mission today is to explore this wondrous world of Old English words.
Their history, their beauty.
Yeah, and maybe why we might want to dust a few off and actually use them again. We've been looking at some really insightful sources, giving us a window into that past.
A direct line, almost.
Yeah. The goal for you listening is to maybe reconnect with those deep linguistic roots and find some surprising insights about language itself.
Okay, so where do we start? Defining Old English.
Exactly. Before we get into the really fun words, we need to be clear on what we mean. Because Old English, it's a term people often get wrong, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Very common misconception. Lots of people think Shakespeare.
Right. But Shakespeare's English, while it feels old to us, that's early modern English. Old English is, wow, much, much earlier.
Way earlier. We're talking the earliest recorded form of English, spoken in England, parts of Scotland too, roughly between 450 AD and 1150 AD.
So the Anglo-Saxon era.
Precisely. The language of the Anglo-Saxons. And it was, heavily influenced by other Germanic languages, definitely. Also, Old Norse, thanks to Viking invasions.
Ah, right.
And even Latin, which came along with Christian missionaries.
So it sounds like quite a melting pot even back then. What caused the big shift away from that towards, what came next?
Well, the huge turning point was the Norman Conquest. 1066. That was massive.
Okay. William the Conqueror.
Yep. After he won, the aristocracy, the ruling class, they mostly spoke Anglo-Norman, which was basically a French dialect.
So French took over at the top. Did English just disappear?
No, not disappear, but it went underground a bit, and it definitely started changing. It evolved under that huge pressure from French.
Okay, so maybe a timeline would help visualize this.
Yeah, good idea. Think of it like this. First, you have Old English, roughly 450 to 1150 AD. That's Beowulf's language. Honestly, you probably wouldn't recognize it spoken today.
Almost like a foreign language.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Then comes Middle English, say 1150 to 1500. Now we're talking Chaucer, the Canterbury Tales. You start to recognize more, but still very different.
Okay, get it closer.
Then Early Modern English, 1500 to 1700. Now we've reached Shakespeare. Much closer to us, but still distinct grammar vocabulary.
Right, thee and thou and all that.
Exactly. And finally, Late Modern English, from about 1700 to today. That's basically us.
That really clarifies it. So Shakespeare is firmly early modern, not Old English at all. Centuries apart, really different worlds.
Completely different. Which brings us back to slugabed.
Yeah, so slugabed is...
It's just plain Old English.
Yeah.
From a later period, the 16th century, in fact, just fallen out of common use. It's old, but it's not Old English from that 450, 1150 window.
Got it. Old versus Old English.
Yeah.
That distinction is crucial. And, for people really getting into this, the sources mention adapting the spelling sometimes to make it easier to read.
Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Old English had special characters like A or A. Modern text often swap those out for letters we use today. Makes it way more accessible.
And the grammar was more complex too, right? You mentioned something about you.
Oh yeah, much more complex in some ways. Like Latin, almost. Take the word you, today it's just you. But in Old English, the singular you had different forms depending on its job in the sentence.
Wow.
Yeah, thou if it was the subject, thee for the object, thy for your before a noun, thine for yours standing alone.
That's intricate.
It is. It shows how much detail was built into the grammar and how much we've simplified things. If you really want to dive deep into that stuff, Bosworth-Toller's dictionary is like the classic resource.
Good to know. Okay, so we know what it is. But why should we care about these ancient words today? What's the appeal?
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is that connection. These words link us directly to our linguistic, our cultural ancestors.
Right.
There's just something special about knowing you're using, or even just thinking about, the same word someone used 1,000 years ago. It's more than just meaning. It's like feeling history.
Like an echo from the past. And Beowulf is a perfect example of that, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's this epic poem written in Old English, one of our oldest pieces of literature. And yeah, a lot of it feels alien, but some words just jump out.
Like which ones?
Well, weird, W-Y-R-D, meaning fate or destiny. That's a huge concept in the poem. Or Beorn, B-E-O-R-N, for warrior.
Yes.
And Medu, M-E-D-U, for mead, the honey wine they drank.
Oh, meat.
Exactly. Those words, they just evoke that whole world. Storytelling by the fire, battles, sure, but also just life, a very grounded way of living.
It really does paint a picture, and it makes you think how different our language feels now. Modern English is so efficient.
It is. Fast. Built for speed, right. We love abbreviations, shortcuts, slang, jargon.
Getting the message across quick.
Yeah. And there's value in that, obviously.
Mm.
But maybe there's also value in slowing down sometimes.
What do you mean?
Well, what if we reclaimed some of these old English words? Words that aren't just about information, but about feeling something, that remind us language can have this richness, this rhythm.
So bringing them back not just as vocabulary items, but for the texture they add.
Exactly, to enrich how we experience things, how we talk about them.
Okay, I love that idea. Let's get into some examples then. This is where it gets really interesting. Our source material had some fantastic ones, starting with everyday words that are surprisingly familiar.
Yeah, the continuity is amazing sometimes.
Like friend, F-R-E-O-N-D. Sounds like.
Friend, pronounced roughly friant.
You can totally hear it. Or IKC, pronounced eek.
Which is I.
Right. And thou, T-H-O-U, pronounced thu.
For you, as we mentioned.
It's like looking at a slightly blurry photo of modern English. And lufu, L-U-F-U, pronounced luffy.
Wow.
And water, W-A-E-T-E-R, pronounced pretty much like water.
Yeah, water. It's pretty striking how close some of those core words are.
It really is. But okay, beyond the basics. The words for feelings, this part blew me away.
Oh yeah, the Anglo-Saxons had this incredibly rich vocabulary for emotions. Words that capture shades of feeling we still have, but maybe don't have a single word for anymore.
Exactly, like utsero, U-H-T-C-E-A-R-U. It means that anxiety or sorrow you feel lying awake before dawn, worrying about the day.
We've all been there, right? That 4 a.m. dread.
Totally. And it has a specific word. Then there's eluscerwen, E-A-L-U-S-C-E-R-W-E-N.
Literally ale deprivation.
Right. Which sounds maybe trivial, but it was used metaphorically for this deep distress, like a loss of community joy. Imagine maybe a village feast getting canceled because of a raid or something. That feeling.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about how central communal life, sharing food and drink, was to their sense of well-being.
It really does. And sorglufu, S-O-R-G-L-U-F-U, love mixed with sorrow, that bittersweet ache.
Mm-hmm. When caring deeply also brings pain or worry. It's complex.
So complex. And friu, F-R-I-U-U, pronounced frith. More than just peace, right?
Yeah, it's deeper. Like peace, protection, harmony, all within the community. Real sense of belonging and safety together.
Beautiful. And we have to mention weird again. Fate, destiny.
But more nuanced than just fate. It's like
Yeah.
the unfolding of events, partly beyond your control, but also shaped by past actions and choices, since that things have a course.
These words just feel so profound. They really capture deep human experiences.
They do. And then, on a lighter note, there are some that are just kind of fun or quirky.
Yes, like banhus, B-A-N-H-U-S.
Bone house for the human body.
Isn't that great? So visual, almost poetic.
It is. Or attercop, A-T-T-Z-R-C-O-P, for spider.
Meaning.
Poison head.
Ooh, sounds a bit sinister.
Yeah.
Makes sense, though. And halafta, H-L-A-F-A-E-T-A.
Loaf eater or bread eater. It was a term for a servant or a dependent, someone fed by the household.
Wow. Again, tells you something about the social structure, just in a word, tied to sustenance.
Exactly. Very practical, very grounded in daily life.
And, just as a fun aside, remember slugabed.
Right. Our 16th century friend. Not Old English.
No, but the sources had some other amusing old words just from later centuries, like fudgel from the 18th century.
Ah, yes. Fudgel.
Meaning pretending to work when you're doing nothing productive.
Seems timeless, doesn't it? I think we all know how to fudgel occasionally.
Agrees, definitely. Or how about chiviness, 19th century?
Chiviness.
What's that?
The discomfort of wearing new underwear.
Chuckle slightly. No way, that's incredibly specific and relatable.
Isn't it? And one more. Ultra-crepidarian from 1819. Ultra-crepidarian. Sounds impressive.
It means someone who gives opinions on things beyond their expertise. Comes from a Latin phrase about a shoemaker sticking to shoes.
Ah, the classic stick to what you know. A very useful word, perhaps especially these days.
You could say that. So, okay, connecting this all back, these words aren't just dictionary entries, they tell stories, right?
Absolutely. They show us snippets of daily life, values, how people saw the world, and we even see them in common phrases from the time.
Like Wes Hull.
Exactly.
What?
Weshal, meaning be healthy or be whole. It's the origin of wassail, the festive toast.
That's fantastic. And Hwaet, Hwaet,
Yeah,
famously starts Beowulf.
yeah. Basically means what, or listen up, or hey. Used to grab attention, express surprise. Really punchy. You can just hear the storyteller using it.
Definitely. And more philosophical phrases, too.
Sure. Like weird beeful arade, fate is fully determined. Shows that strong belief in destiny we talked about.
Wow.
Or just beautiful descriptive lines from poems like, he waxed under Wolknam. He grew up under the clouds. Simple, but so evocative, captures that sense of growing up in the natural world.
It's amazing how much is packed into these phrases. And the individual word histories, too. They open up whole cultural practices, like blotmona.
Right. BLOT dash MONDA, November. Literally, sacrifice month.
Sacrifice month.
Yeah, it tells you this was the time they'd slaughter excess livestock.
Yeah.
Partly for rituals, but mainly to preserve meat for the winter. Survival. It shows that deep connection to the seasons, to the land.
That makes so much sense. And you mentioned Halford earlier, the word for lord.
Yes, HLAFORD.
Yeah.
Originally meant loafward or bread keeper.
Bread keeper.
Think about that. The leader, the Lord, was literally the keeper, the provider of bread, sustenance. It's such a tangible, fundamental meaning of leadership. Very different from how we often think of power now.
That's a huge shift in perspective. And your favorite meaning shift was dream, right? DREAM.
Yes, because today, dream is what happens when you sleep. But in Old English, jam meant joy, merriment, music, revelry, public celebration.
So completely different. Joy, not sleep dreams.
Exactly. And that shift, it's fascinating. It maybe hints at a broader cultural shift from a more communal, outward expression of joy, maybe in the mead hall with songs and stories, to our modern, more internal, private psychological understanding of dreams and even happiness. It's like a tiny linguistic fossil showing a massive change in society.
Wow, that's incredible insight just from one word changing. Okay, so bringing this all together, what does this mean for us today, listening to this?
Well, we've taken this deep dive, and I hope it's clear there's just some richness there.
Definitely.
The reasons to explore these old words, it's about reconnecting, like you said, with our linguistic history, but also about enriching our own language now.
Adding flavor, humor, maybe finding a word for a feeling we couldn't quite name before.
Precisely. Expanding how we think and talk. And yet, some words look tricky at first with the old spellings.
Right, the funny letters.
But as we saw, often the sounds are closer than you think. And modern versions often adapt the spelling anyway. So it becomes thou, Ike becomes I. It's not as inaccessible as it might seem.
No, definitely not. With a little context, many are surprisingly clear, especially seeing how they connect to words we use now. They could add such a unique feel to writing, or just be fun to know.
And that's really the core idea for you listening. These words aren't just dusty relics. They're packed with life, with meaning, with a kind of rhythm that maybe our super efficient modern English sometimes misses.
Yeah.
So maybe by reviving some of these echoes, bringing them back into our awareness, we don't just get more words.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a slightly deeper sense of what it means to feel things and express them. It reminds us language is alive. It's always been changing, always reflecting human experience.
That's beautifully put. So a final thought to leave everyone with. As you go about your day, maybe think about this. What old English word will you try to bring back, even just in your own thoughts?